Sambo coach at Apex Sambo at Vital Point Martial Arts in Buffalo, New York. What I want to share with you today is a hand weight training program. 25 years ago, I was training hot and heavy in Shotokan Karate. Got up every morning and went to the gym at 5 o'clock and trained with a friend of mine, because at the time we were heavily involved in point karate tournaments. And I was pretty much getting my ass handed to me on a regular basis, being a small guy, short arms and short legs. So we thought maybe more training would help. And while we were in there in the morning's training, we noticed that there was a guy over in the corner. He had to be in his mid-60s, I guess. And as we watched him, we realized this guy really knew what he was doing. He was in great condition. He was doing physical conditioning, physical culture training every morning. And then he was doing some boxing, working on the bag. I said, man, this guy can really hit hard, he can really hit fast. So I went over and introduced myself and began to talk to him and found out that he had been a boxing coach for a number of Golden Glove champions. And we told him what we were doing and the problems that we were encountering. And he said, well, you need to be able to punch fast and you need to be able to punch hard. So I said, well, how do we go about doing that? And what he showed me was this routine. Unfortunately, I can't even remember the guy's name, but something that I've used through the years. The nice thing about it is very simple. The only problem is it can be somewhat time consuming as you develop the program yourself. But at the same time, if you go through the entire routine, you lay off of it for even a couple of years and come back to it, you'd be surprised at what points you can pick up and start over again and still have the same stamina, the same strength, and the same speed. So this routine is focused on developing your punching muscle groups and developing both speed and power. It's real simple. You don't need a whole lot of props. Basically, I got some 1 pound hand weights here, some 2 pound hand weights, and some 3 pound hand weights. And you need a good clock with a sweep second hand. It's going to be very important as well. Basically, this program is very simple. It consists of what karate people call a Seikan punch. I'm going to demonstrate it just using some 2 pound hand weights here. Depending on your own level of physical conditioning, you may want to start with absolutely nothing in your hands. You may want to start with bag gloves on. I know that 25 years ago, that's where I started, with just a pair of bag gloves on. Went through the routine, then picked up the 1 pound weights, the 2 pound weights, and 3 pound weights, and worked all the way through it. 1 pound weight would be just like having a 16-ounce glove on your hand. So the routine is simple. You want to stand on your feet about shoulder width apart. Put your hands on your hips. The object here is Seikan punches. You want to bring this out straight, chin level, turn and bring it back. And then the left hand. Now, unlike the karate punches, which push and pull at the same time, you want to focus each punch individually. If you got a mirror, that'll help you even more. Just keep bringing it right back to your hip. It's very important to try to maintain the form so that you don't cheat it. You don't want to, as you start to fatigue, you don't want to start throwing your hips, start throwing your shoulders, because you're cheating those muscle groups, okay? You want to stay straight, fixed, bend your knees a little bit, and just as fast as you can pop these hand weights out, you want to throw these punches one at a time. Again, I encourage you to be very careful on how much weight you start with, because I don't want anybody throwing their elbow out or their shoulder out. You want to maintain the posture. Now you want to throw these Seikan punches as fast as you can, maintaining your posture for 6 minutes. That's why you need the clock. You watch that second hand when it rolls around. At the end of 6 minutes, you're going to switch and do uppercuts. Using your whole body, driving with your knees, bringing it up. 1 minute of these uppercuts. Watching that clock. As soon as you get through to the 1 minute point, you go right back to the punches. Again, don't cheat it. If you got a mirror and you can watch the mirror and the clock, that's good. As fast and as hard as you can throw them out there. I generally use 2 or 3 pound weights, depending on how long it's been between training sessions. Now what you want to do is you want to do 6 of the 6-minute sessions with the 1 minute uppercuts in between. Now, you may start out with 1 pound hand weights because you're in pretty good condition, and you may find you can't make it halfway through before you start getting sloppy. When you start getting sloppy, you start getting fatigued and tired, stop. Do it again the next day. You'll find that you'll be able to get farther and farther along as you train this program. When you get to the point, if you start out with 1 pound hand weights, you get to the point where you go through the entire 42-minute routine without any problem, then pick up the next weight and start from there and see how far you get and keep building. Eventually you'll be able to do this entire 42-minute routine with 3 pound hand weights, and I promise you will be able to jab, cross endlessly. Your arms will never fatigue when you're punching, and you'll have tremendous speed and tremendous punching power. The biggest drawback to this training program is that it becomes time consuming. When you first start, you may only make 10, 12, 15 minutes of the program. But if you can commit to working up to the entire 42-minute program, it'll be well worth it. Put the clock over the TV while you're watching a ball game or something, as long as you feel comfortable that you're maintaining your form. But if you can commit the time to it,